The most terrifying discovery you will ever make is this: you are not one person, you are two. And the reason for your exhaustion, your financial struggle, your chronic anxiety is that these two versions of you are locked in a lethal battle for control of your mind. You think you are fighting the external world. You tell yourself that the economy, the algorithm, your boss, your ex, these are the cause of your stagnation. You are lying to yourself. If every external obstacle disappeared today, if you suddenly had the money, the time, the resources, you would still find a way to ruin it, because the enemy is not outside, the enemy is in the mirror. One part of you is trying to build an empire, the other part wants to burn it down just to feel warm by the fire. Have you felt this? The moment you decide to change your life, another voice wakes up. It whispers, it seduces, it convinces you to sleep a little longer, skip the training session, send the message you should not send, to sabotage your own progress at the exact moment you are about to break through. This is not laziness. It is not lack of motivation. It is an active, malicious force living inside your nervous system. The ancients called it a demon. Stephen Pressfield calls it the resistance. Jung called it the shadow. Whatever you name it, understand this: it wants your death. Not your physical death. That would be too simple. It wants your spiritual death. It wants you mediocre. It wants you silent. Today we expose this traitor. We examine the psychological war happening inside your skull. And I will show you how to win the only war that matters. Because if you lose this battle, nothing you achieve will last. But if you win everything. Most people live their entire lives as hostages of their own psychology. They die without ever meeting the person they could have become. Do not be one of them. The divided house. 3 entities fighting for your life. To defeat an enemy, you must study the battlefield, and the battlefield is your own personality. Freud gave us a map, but he was too polite in his language. He spoke of the id, the ego, and the superego. Let us abandon the academic terminology and look at the brutal reality of what is happening inside you right now. You are a house divided. 3 separate entities are fighting for the wheel of your life. First, the beast. This is your biology, the id. It is millions of years old. It does not care about your future. It does not care about your legacy. It cares about 3 things: safety, pleasure, and the conservation of energy. The beast wants you eating sugar. It wants you watching pornography. It wants you staying in bed. When you feel that overwhelming magnetic pull toward procrastination, that is not you. That is the beast seizing control of your motor functions. It is a survival mechanism that has gone rogue in the modern world. It registers hard work as a threat to its caloric reserves. It registers social risk as a threat to survival. It is primitive, it is powerful, and it is relentless. Second, the judge. This is the superego, the voice of your father, your teachers, society at large. It is the part of you that screams when you make a mistake. It uses guilt as a weapon. It tells you that you are worthless, that you are falling behind, that you should be ashamed. Most people believe the judge is their friend because it pushes them. It is not your friend. It is a tyrant. It paralyzes you with perfectionism. It says, if you cannot do this perfectly, do not do it at all. The judge is the reason you freeze. Third, the hostage, the ego, your conscious self. You are the one who wakes up every morning beaten and exhausted, trying to navigate between the beast demanding its dopamine hit and the judge waiting to execute you for your laziness. This internal civil war is what drains you. You are not tired because you worked hard. You are tired because you spent 12 hours fighting yourself. You burned all your energy negotiating with terrorists inside your own head. Just 5 more minutes. I'll start on Monday. Who am I to try this? Stop negotiating. You cannot reason with a terrorist. You cannot use logic on the beast because it does not understand sensation. And you cannot satisfy the judge because its standards are unachievable. The only exit is a coup. You must stop being the hostage and become the dictator of your own internal state. The dictator does not negotiate with impulses. He suppresses them. When the beast says, "I'm tired," the dictator says, "Irrelevant." When the judge says, "You are not ready," the dictator says, "Silence." You must detach your identity from these voices. You are not the voice that wants to quit. You are the one who hears it. The moment you realize that the urge to give up is simply a physiological sensation, a chemical wave passing through your body, you strip it of its power. Watch the urge arise, name it, there it is, the beast, and do the work anyway. This is how you kill the division. You starve the voices by refusing to give them your attention. The upper limit. Why you sabotage your own success. Here is the bitter truth that may sting. You are unhappy because, at a deep subconscious level, you do not want to be happy. You are addicted to your own suffering. This sounds insane. Why would anyone choose pain? Why would anyone choose to be broke, lonely, or out of shape? Because suffering is safe. Because suffering is familiar. Because as long as you are a victim of your own life, you do not have to take responsibility for it. Viktor Frankl, who survived the Nazi concentration camps, discovered that the last human freedom is the ability to choose your attitude in any circumstance. But most people reject this freedom. Freedom is terrifying. Freedom means there is no one left to blame. If you admit that you are the architect of your own misery, you must also admit that you have spent years of your life building a prison and locking yourself inside it. This realization is so painful that your ego will fight to the death to avoid it. This is why you self-sabotage. This is why you pick a fight with your partner when everything is going well. This is why you spend money you do not have the moment you start saving. This is why you binge eat the moment you start seeing definition in the mirror. You have reached your upper limit. Hendricks describes this as a thermostat. You have a set point for how much happiness, wealth, and love you believe you deserve. Say your thermostat is set to 70 degrees. If your life starts going genuinely well, you get the promotion, you fall in love, the temperature hits 80, your internal alarm fires. This is too good. This isn't who I am. Something bad must happen. So you unconsciously turn on the air conditioning. You create a crisis. You destroy the thing that was working in order to bring the temperature back to the familiar 70. You return to the baseline level of misery that feels like home. You must break the thermostat. You must be willing to tolerate the anxiety of things going well. When life is working, you will feel a frantic urge to destroy it. That urge is your ego attempting to return you to safety. Recognize it when you are winning and feel that itching impulse towards self-destruction. That is the moment of the test. That is your battle with yourself. The old version of you is dying and trying to drag you down with it. Do not let it. Stand in the heat of your own success and do not let it cool. The resistance. Fear as a compass. Stephen Pressfield wrote The War of Art to explain one concept, the resistance. The resistance is not a metaphor. You must treat it as a physical force of nature like gravity. The resistance has one objective, to prevent you from doing your work, to prevent you from ascending from a lower plane of existence to a higher one. And here is the physical law you must internalize. Resistance is directly proportional to the importance of the task. If you want to watch Netflix, no resistance. If you want to eat pizza, no resistance. But if you want to write the book, start the business, have the difficult conversation that will heal the relationship, the resistance will be enormous. It will feel like a physical weight pressing on your chest. This weight is a compass. Most people feel fear and think, I should not do this, something is wrong. The extraordinary person feels fear and thinks, this must be the right direction. Fear is an indicator. The more afraid you are of a specific action, the more critical that action is to your evolution. The resistance is trying to stop you because it knows this action will kill the previous version of you. You must change your relationship to this feeling. Amateurs wait for the fear to pass. They wait for inspiration. They wait to feel ready. Professionals know the fear never passes. Fear is the fuel. David Goggins talks about the cookie jar, but deeper is his concept of the governor. There is a governor in your brain, like a regulator in a car engine, that limits your output to protect you from injury. When you feel pain, when you feel you cannot go further, you are at 40% of your capacity. The resistance is the governor. The battle of you versus you is the fight to override the 40%. When your mind screams, "Stop," that is not a red light, that is a yellow light. It means proceed with caution, but proceed. Begin treating the resistance as a separate entity. When you wake up and do not want to work, say, "Hello, resistance, I see you showed up early today." Externalize it. Make it the opponent. You cannot box with a shadow, but if you give the shadow a name, if you give it a shape, you can land the punch. Every day you do your work in spite of the resistance, you land the punch. You rewire the neural pathways. You teach the beast that it is no longer in charge. The shadow, harnessing the monster within. Carl Jung introduced the shadow, the dark, suppressed dimension of your personality, the parts of yourself you are ashamed of, your aggression, your greed, your cruelty, your forbidden desires. Society tells you to hide the shadow. Be the nice guy, be polite, be agreeable. This is precisely why you are weak. A person incapable of evil is not good, they are merely harmless, and harmless people cannot conquer themselves, let alone the world. Jordan Peterson once said it precisely: you must be a monster, and then you must be a civilized monster. The battle of you versus you is not about destroying the monster, it is about harnessing it, putting it in harness and forcing it to work. Your exhaustion comes from spending all your energy suppressing your dark side. You are reaching for sainthood. Stop. You have darkness, a drive for power, a hunger to dominate, a capacity for rage. If you suppress these forces, they will surface as passive aggression, chronic resentment, and self-sabotage. If you integrate them, they become fuel. Use your anger. In the inner war, do not try to be conscious and gentle. Get angry at your own mediocrity. Look in the mirror and rage at the potential you have squandered. Anger is a high energy state. Apathy is a low energy state. You can move through anger. Apathy immobilizes you. Strike a deal with your shadow. I will give you what you want: status, power, resources, but you will work for it. We will not take it through theft or manipulation. We will build it. Take the aggression of the id and channel it through the discipline of the ego. This is sublimation, the alchemy of converting base impulses into gold. The most successful people in history were not nice, they were dangerous, but they controlled their danger. Be dangerous to your own excuses. Be merciless toward your own weakness. Kill hope, the strategy of intention. Every day you are drinking a poison. It is sweet on the tongue but corrodes your organs. This poison is hope. You hope things will improve. You hope you will feel motivated tomorrow. You hope the market will shift. You hope she will return. Hope is the strategy of the broke. Hope is a passive state that assumes an external force will arrive and save you. I hope I will win. No. In the war of you versus you, hope is betrayal. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, did not hope that the Germanic tribes would retreat. He marched his legions north and fought in mud and freezing rain for years. He wrote his meditations not as a book of peace, but as a manual for maintaining sanity inside a nightmare. He rejected the illusion of hope. Ambition means attaching your well-being to what other people say or do. Self-satisfaction means attaching it to what happens to you. Sanity means attaching it to your own actions. You must kill the part of yourself that is waiting for a savior. No one is coming. No one will wake you up. No one will make you go to the gym. No one will write your business plan. The white knight is not arriving. The lottery ticket will not appear. You are the rescue team. This realization produces a specific kind of existential vertigo, the dizziness of absolute responsibility. If your life is a mess, it is your mess. If you are lonely, it is your work. If you are weak, it is your choice. This burns. Good, let it burn, because the fire of this realization cauterizes the wound of victimhood. The moment you accept that you are the problem, you also realize that you are the solution. While the problem lives outside you, you are powerless. If the problem lives inside you, you are omnipotent. Stop hoping. Start intending. Replace the word hope with the word intend. I don't hope to wake up early, I intend to. I don't hope to finish the project, I intend to. Intention changes the physiology of the brain. Intention closes the gap between thought and action. Hope widens it. Kill the one who hopes, birth the strategist. The ego equation. Arrogance and hunger together. Ryan Holiday wrote that the ego is the enemy. In many cases, he is right. But in the war of you versus you, we need precision. Uncontrolled ego is the enemy. It makes you believe you are better than you are, so you stop practicing. It convinces you that you are too good for the small work. But a collapsed ego is equally useless. You need ego to get out of bed. You need ego to believe that you can accomplish the impossible. The trick is not to kill the ego, it is to subordinate it. You must separate ego approval from ego performance. Ego approval asks, do they like me? Do I look impressive? Am I special? This is weakness. This is the part of you that collapses when you receive a negative comment. This is the part that quits when the metrics are low. Kill this part. It is a parasite feeding on the opinions of sheep. Ego performance declares, I am capable of mastering this. I hold myself to a standard higher than anyone would expect of me. This is strength. You need enough arrogance to believe that you can be great, and enough humility to understand that you are not there yet. This is the paradox of extraordinary people. You must look in the mirror and think, I am the best, and simultaneously, I'm a nobody who needs to work harder. Hold both of these contradictory beliefs at the same time. The belief, I am the best, protects you from the world's doubts. The belief, I need to work, protects you from complacency. Without the first, you become a defeated pessimist. Without the second, you become a delusional narcissist. Fuse them. I am a king, but I work like a peasant. This is the inner dynamic of the winner. You treat yourself with self-respect, but drive yourself with ruthless demand. Do not let the ego steer the car, but let it sit in the passenger seat and read the map. Time is the predator. Memento Mori as a weapon. The ultimate judge in the battle between you and yourself is time. And time is not neutral. Time is a predator hunting you. Most people live as though they have infinite time. This is the greatest lie the beast tells. The beast says there is always tomorrow. You can start next year. You are still young. Seneca wrote about the brevity of life 2,000 years ago. He said, the problem is not that we have too little time, it is that we waste so much of it. We die a little every day. Every day spent fighting yourself is a day subtracted from your life. You are not spending time, you are spending your life. To win the inner war, you must use your mortality as a weapon. Memento Mori. Remember that you must die. This is not morbid. It clarifies everything. When you realize that death is approaching at a constant speed, the small internal conflicts stop mattering. Do you truly have time to be uncertain? Do you truly have time to worry about what people think? Do you truly have time to procrastinate? No. Picture yourself on your deathbed. You are 90 years old. You are taking your final breaths. And around your bedstand, the ghosts of the ideas, the dreams, the capabilities that were given to you, but that you never used. They are standing there, staring at you with furious eyes. They say, we came to you, and only you could have given us life, and now we must die with you forever. This is the nightmare. This is the hell that theologians describe. Hell is not a place of fire. Hell is meeting the version of yourself you could have been and realizing you are strangers. Use this fear. Fear of failure is weak, but the fear of meeting that ghost, that is the ultimate weapon. When you are arguing with yourself about whether to do the work, fast forward to the end. Look at the gravestone. Ask yourself, if today were the last chance to take this step, would I take it? The answer is always yes, so take it. Live with the urgency of a person with a gun at their temple, because the gun is real. The trigger is just being pulled slowly by the quiet decay of time, by the soft voice of comfort luring you into the grave of mediocrity. The anti-self, building the character that wins. How do you apply all of this in practice? How do you win the daily battle? You need to create an anti-self. If your current self is lazy, anxious, and distracted, simply trying harder will not work. You need to construct a character who is the complete opposite. Beyoncé created Sasha Fierce for her stage performances. David Goggins created Goggins to destroy David. Kobe Bryant created the Black Mamba. This is not schizophrenia, it is strategy. Define the enemy. Write down the traits of the losing self. He sleeps in, he scrolls for 2 hours, he seeks approval, he eats garbage. Now inverted, create the winner, you. He wakes at 4 in the morning. He produces rather than consumes. He is indifferent to other people's opinions. He treats his body like a machine. When you feel the internal conflict rising, ask, what would the anti-self do? Then inhabit that avatar. This is acting. Play the role until you become it. When you put on your workout clothes, you are putting on the costume of the anti-self. When you sit down at the desk, you are stepping into the role of the architect. There is a concept in psychology called embodied cognition. What you wear changes how you think. If you stay in pajamas, you think like someone who is sleeping. If you dress like an operator, you think like an operator. Engineer your environment to trigger the anti-self. Do not trust your willpower. Willpower is a battery, and it depletes. Trust your identity. Identity is constant. You do not have to force yourself to be who you are. Shift the identity from I am trying to quit smoking to I am not a smoker. Shift from I am trying to run to I am a runner. The struggle ends when the identity changes. Conclusion. 2 kinds of peace. There are 2 kinds of peace available in this life. The first is the peace of surrender. This is when you end the inner war because you have given up. You let the beast win. You let comfort win. You sit on the couch, sedated, numb, and still. But this is the peace of a cemetery. It is the silence of a soul that has already died. It is the peace of rot. The second kind is the peace of the victor. This is the calm that descends after the battle, when the demons have been defeated and you stand at the center of your own mind feeling like its undisputed king. It is like a well-maintained garden. It requires constant attention. It needs to be cultivated, weeded, defended, but it is alive and it is bursting with life. This inner battle never ends. You cannot win it once and retire. It must be conquered every single morning. The moment you open your eyes, the bell rings. The beast and the judge are already waiting, ready to drag you down. Are you ready to lift yourself up? Winning this battle means winning at everything. If you can govern your impulses, you can conquer any market. If you overcome your fear, you can defeat any opponent. If you eliminate the need for external approval, any negotiation is yours to win. The world is full of weakness, distracted, fighting itself and losing. If you are the one who has ended the internal conflict and begun to govern yourself, you will move through that world like a hot knife through butter. The man who has defeated his own reflection has no real competitors. The war continues. The enemy is right beside you as you watch this. It is listening and saying, "Great video, we will start tomorrow." Turn to it, look it in the eye, and say, "No, we start now." But be warned, when you begin winning this war, when the old self is being defeated, you will notice something unsettling. The people around you will stop accepting you. They will call you obsessed. They will say you have changed. They will try to pull you back. Why? Because your self-discipline illuminates their surrender. Your self-control reminds them of their addiction. You will face a choice: be loved by those in chains or be feared by those who are free.